it will help the matter at all for you to make a display of your charming disposition? G.A/the/. I'm happy to be able to return the compliment implied, was Exon's preface to the continuation of the message. And now indeed Natty might have recovered some of her fallen glories, being angry enough to be fiercely determined, had not the owner of the nose again made her presence manifest by the sudden question, "Do you have a different sound for every word or syllable, or what?" And turning quickly around to scowl this preserving questioner into silence, Natty's elbow hit and knocked over the inkstand, its contents pouring over her hands, dress, the desk and floor, and proving beyond a doubt, as it descended, the truth of its label, Superior Black Ink. And then, save for the clatter of the sounder, there was silence. For a moment Natty gazed blankly at her besmeared hands and ruined dress, at the sounder, and at the owner of the nose, who returned her look with that expression of serene amusement often noticeable in those who contemplate from afar the mishaps of their fellow beings. Then, with the courage of despair, she, for the fourth time, broke Exon, saying with inky expression on the instrument, "Excuse me, but you will have to wait. I am all ink, and I'm being cross-examined." Having thus delivered herself, she turned a deliberate deaf ear to Exon's response, which, judging from the way the movable portion of the sounder danced, was emphatic. "A little new milk will take that out," complacently said the owner of the nose, watching Natty's efforts to remove the ink from her dress with blotting paper. "Unfortunately, I do not keep a cow here," Natalie replied tartly. Not quite polite in Natty, this, but do not the circumstances plead her strongly in her excuse? For remember, she was not one of those impossible angelic young ladies of whom we read, but one of the ordinary human beings we meet every day. The owner of the nose, however, was not charitable, and drew herself up loftily as she said in imperative accents, "You did not answer my question. Do you have to learn the sound of each letter so as to distinguish themselves from each other?" Natty constrained herself to reply very shortly, "Yes." "Can you take a message and talk to me at the same time?" pursued the investigator. "No," was Natty's emphatic answer as she looked ruefully at her dress. "But your instrument there is going it now. Ain't they sending you a message?" went on the relentless owner of the nose. At this Natty turned her attention a moment to what was being done on the wire, and breathed a sigh of relief, for Exon had given place to another office, and she replied, "No, some office on the wire is sending to some other office." The nose elevated itself in surprise. "Can you hear everything that is sent from every other office?" "Yes," was the weary reply as Natalie rubbed her dress. "What!" exclaimed the owner of the nose, in accents of incredulous wonder. "All over the world?" "Certainly not. Only the offices on this wire. There are about 20, was the impatient reply. "Ah!" evidently relieved. "But, considering, suppose you do not catch all the sounds, what do you do then?" "Break." "Break? Break what? The instruments?" queried the owner of the nose, perplexedly, and looking as if that must be a very expensive habit. "Break the circuit, the connection, open the key, and asking the sending office to repeat from the last word I have been able to catch." Then, seeing unmistakable evidence of more questions in the nose, Natty threw the ink-soaked blotting paper and her last remnants of patience into the wastebasket and added, "But you must excuse me. I am too busy to be interrupted longer, and there are books that will give you all the information that you require." So saying, Natty turned her back, and the owner of the nose withdrew it, its tip glistening with indignation as she walked away. As it vanished, Natty gave a sigh of relief and sat down to mourn her ruined dress. Whatever may have been her previous opinion, she was positive now that this was the prettiest, the most becoming dress she had ever possessed. Only the old story we prize most is gone forever. "And all that dreadful man or woman's fault at X.N.!" cried Natty savagely, unjustly too, for if anyone was responsible for the accident, it was the owner of the nose. But not long did Natty dare give way to her misery. That fatal message was not yet received. Glancing over the few words she had of it, she read, "Send the hearse," and then she began anxiously calling in. "Hearse,